tell everyone, how did Cajun Navy start? So you're not the original?
No.
Okay.
No. There is no original person. Mm-hmm. It's like who created who dat. It just kind of happened. Everybody started using it, and nobody really created it. May have been a bunch of people saying it.
Okay.
And there's no like original originator.
Okay.
So with the Cajun Navy, there wasn't.
Okay.
There's several groups that use the term Cajun Navy.
So there's several. How many do you think?
There's really only 4 or 5 that I would say have been around since 2016. Okay. After Katrina, everybody knows the term was used, but we didn't have Facebook, so you couldn't just easily create a brand and have a whole bunch of followers and then, build a nonprofit or some kind of organization around it. Mm-hmm. So when Facebook happened, in 2016 when the flooding happened, we had Facebook, and so several people created Facebook groups or Facebook pages with the term Cajun Navy. I didn't even create the one that I joined. I was just a member of it. But my background is system development, and what I saw in that group was just chaos, but people really needing rescue. Mm-hmm. And so I started organizing them and just kind of took it by the reins and made it happen.
Mm-hmm. So people were going on Facebook Live for the flood.
Yeah.
And how did you organize all that, I guess, chaos at the time that was going on? Mm-hmm. I'm sure that you had it in your head, like, this is what I need to do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a programmer by trade. My background is software development. Mm-hmm. So one of the things in software development, you have to look at how things work. How does a business work? And then you build software for that business, different departments that have people, and you have to understand how things work. So I have a knack for that. And when I saw what was happening in this Facebook group, people really needed rescue. Mm-hmm. They were calling 911. Mm-hmm. It was so overwhelmed. The authorities couldn't respond, so people started requesting help on social media. I saw that. I had friends start taking that information, put it in a database, and I had the guys that had boats with their cell phone download a walkie-talkie app. And we communicated to them and said, hey, go rescue this person. Go bring food to this place. Go pull this person out of their car. All of those things. So you already know what it is. It's just like fire and police. Mm-hmm. The police departments and the fire departments don't drive around looking for crime. They're dispatched. That's what I did. I created a dispatch system for citizens. So
they would go to that person's house, assist them, and then it would take it off the spread. How do you, it's like a check and balance, I guess?
Yeah, we would close that ticket, basically. Okay. Yeah, and we still do that, even today. Everybody, knows the Cajun Navy was guys in boats, but what we do now, how often do you need really guys in boats to do a lot of that kind of work? It's not often enough to build a nonprofit around that. So what I decided to do was help people in the aftermath, after their homes flood, after a tornado, after a hurricane. And so that's what we do now. And it's my full-time job now. We most recently were in Rolling Fork for 7 weeks, helping with the tornadoes.
But initially it was search and rescue.
It was search and rescue initially.
Yes.
I always say, when the water goes down and the boats go home, and like in 2016, we had over 100,000 homes were flooded. And certainly, this is where what we've realized over the years, there's some people that don't get helped, and it's the elderly. They don't have that network of support that younger people do, because the younger people have jobs and their coworkers and their kids have friends who have
They don't have the internet. They don't have the resources. Yes.
Right. So we go in and we try to find and help the elderly and disabled. That's our mission. So we have 5 programs that we've developed over 6 years of doing this and seeing all of the problems. 5 programs: Safe Camp, Community Caretaking, Remote Team, Visual Storytelling, and then Swift Intervention Training. And they all work together to deliver basically a massive citizen response. These disasters just require a lot of hands. So we bring in a lot of people, and we put them to work cleaning up after disasters, basically, and helping in whatever way we can.
Okay. And do you still have boats, or is it just on the ground?
Just on the ground.
Just on the ground.
So no boats.
I don't own a boat. Never have.
But other people do.
Other people do.
But you're not in that part.
I'm really not.
Okay.
You know, the last time the Cajun Navy, where guys in boats really did any boat rescues, was Hurricane Harvey. And that was 2017.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Now they're using it and they're doing like finding lost people or individuals who maybe fell off, were in an accident on the water. They're using that equipment to go and do that. But it's kind of one-offs and it's every now and then.
Right.
It's difficult to build a real big nonprofit around that.
Yeah.
We're building a real big nonprofit, and it's more about social media and raising awareness. That's where our visual storytelling comes from, raising awareness to what's going on and saying, hey, Hurricane Ian just hit Southwest Florida. We need as many hands as we can get. We need supplies. You guys come, y'all come. And by doing that, we had 2,600 volunteers show up.
Wow.
And
That's
we
awesome.
stayed in
That's
Southwest
impressive,
Florida
yeah.
for 10 weeks. Hurricane Ian was on September 27th. We didn't come home until December 12th. Didn't even come home. So we were there 10 weeks.
Wow.
Yep.
And that was Hurricane Harvey?
Hurricane Ian. That was last year.
That was the one.
Yeah, I just got back in December this year.
Okay.
Yeah, last year.
That was Florida.
That was
right?
Florida.
That was Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Was that your longest stint, out?
No, my longest stint was 10 months
10 months.
in Lake Charles
Oh.
with Hurricane Laura. So Lake
Laura.
Charles is my hometown.
Oh, is it really?
It
That's
is.
where you're from?
Yeah, Lake Charles is my
Okay.
hometown. My family built a lot of Lake Charles.
Okay.
And so my mom, I left there when I was 13. My mom is buried there. So when Hurricane Laura hit, it was just a no-brainer. I lived in Lafayette at the time. We were in the middle of COVID, right? And so just went to Lake Charles and I rode the storm out in Lake Charles and then we stayed there for 10 months. Lake Charles was hit by 4 declared disasters in 9 months. Hurricane Laura, Hurricane Delta, the ice storm that came down through Texas reached into Lake Charles, and Hurricane Laura and Delta had damaged so many homes. It was only 3 or 4 months later, and a lot of people still had tarped roofs and tarped walls
When the
and
second
no
storm
insulation when the ice storm hit.
The ice storm.
Yeah, and then the fourth one was flooding in May, and so it just had these 4 declared disasters. It was my hometown. We actually raised enough money to buy a house, and so we brought volunteers in and let them live in the house and then go help the community.
Oh.
Hurricane Laura eliminated 10,000 properties from Southwest Louisiana, so there was no housing to be found. We bought a house very early on that needed to be repaired. We had it repaired, and then we just stayed in it and just
Yeah.
kept serving in the community for 10 months. I developed this idea. The first program I mentioned was Safe Camp. And so Safe Camp is, we just set up in a parking lot. We have all the equipment. We don't need a building. We live in a parking lot. That's where we were for 10 weeks with Hurricane Ian, for Ida, for Rolling Fork. And so it's a distribution center and a place to come get medical care, a place for volunteers to organize. It's a big,
So that's what
Walmart
your
has backed
camp
us twice
looks
on
like?
it.
What does your camp look
Remember MASH?
like? Yeah.
Yes.
It's like MASH. That's where the idea came from. And in fact, MASH was created by a guy from Lake Charles named Michael DeBakey. So that's where I got the idea. I was like,
Okay,
we just
wow.
did this idea in Walmart's parking lot in Lake Charles for Hurricane Laura. I said, let's create this and take it to every disaster and start having a safe geographic forward operating base like MASH. Yeah.
And
MASH
so
is Mobile
it's-
Army Surgical Hospital. We can't do surgery in a parking lot yet, but I'm working on it.
Getting there.
But that first chapter, when you organized everything, and then you were taken off
Yeah.
as admin,
Yeah.
how did that feel?
It was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really shocking.
Because you got everything going,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
are they still operating?
That group still operates. Yeah.
Do you talk to them?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, none of us really do.
Okay.
I just operate in a different way. We have a big vision. The CEO of the Red Cross wrote one of the forwards for my book. I was Louisianian of the Year for doing this. I've spoke at Wharton Business School about what we're doing. We had a question on Jeopardy. We've sponsored the weather bug. Like Walmart's given us 2 $50,000 grants. Our goal this year is to raise $10 million.
Wow.
We are out to bring lots of citizens in to help with disasters, and they're going to keep happening. So that's our goal, and it's different than a lot of disaster nonprofits. And we're a part of the greater disaster ecosystem. The Red Cross, you guys know their name, but there's Samaritan's Purse, there's the Baptist Men's, there's Plain Compassion Crisis Response, which are Mennonites from Ohio. We have so many partners that every time we deploy, it's like we all know each other now, and they know what we do, we know what they do, and we complement each other. So we are taking the idea of the Cajun Navy, which is Louisiana. I'm really the only Cajun in any of the Cajun Navy groups. My last name is Gaudet. The Gaudets are from down in the Raceland area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just taking it to a whole new level.
What about children? Do y'all ever run into children that need help, or maybe
Separated
abandoned,
from their
or
parents?
We have actually. When this happened last year for Hurricane Ian, one of our volunteers, we get volunteers that come in that work with us on a regular basis, and then we get a lot of spontaneous ones that we've never met that come for a day or such. And one of our regular volunteers, they like to go, they work with us in our safe camp, and it's a big operation, but they'll actually go into the community too and help people. And so who was it? One of the guys, yeah, Tony. One of the guys was going and helping people, and he came across two kids living in the woods. Yeah. Their mother had died in the storm, and they were afraid and went to the woods. Yep.
Oh my God.
And I forget where he brought them, but he went and checked on them every day.
Yeah.
And he couldn't, they were younger and they had a hard time finding additional family, and they finally found their grandparents. It took 2 weeks though.
Wow.
He went and checked on them every day. So we see all
How old are they?
I don't remember. They must have been 4 or 5, 6. Yeah, very
And they were
young.
living on their own?
They were living in the woods for 2 or 3 days. They were just afraid, and I guess their home was no longer there.
Yeah.
It was a trailer, I think. And they didn't know where to go.
Where was that?
This was in Southwest Florida, in Cape Coral or North Fort Myers area.
It's horrible.
Yeah. We've come across some situations.
Yeah,
I call it a humanitarian crisis because it's almost every time it's the elderly. The things that I've seen are really shocking. For 2016, in January, the flooding happened in August. January, I was made aware of an elderly woman living in her home that had been cleaned out but not repaired. It had zero help in Maurepas.
Oh.
And so, you got to go to Sorrento and go north to get to it. So, went and checked on her. Sure enough, just a little lady living alone in her home, down a little road right on the bayou. It had flooded, and she had no hot water. She had electricity, but no hot water. Her refrigerator was still duct taped. It'd been sitting there for 4 months. All of her dishes and everything were on the counter, and she had all her sheetrock had been pulled out. But it was cold. It was January, and it was cold, and so she didn't have hot water. So I just asked her, "How are you bathing?" And she pointed to a box of wipes that some friends were giving her just to keep cleaning herself off.
Wow.
And so it took a couple of months, but I organized some other nonprofits to go out, and we rebuilt her home. We put her sheetrock in, we cleaned it out, we took the refrigerator out, put new flooring in. I was delivering cabinets the next day, and I went, and her dog was running around. Couldn't find her, and knocked on her door, and I pushed it open, and she had a little upstairs area, and I went in her upstairs area, and she was passed away on the floor. Yep.
That's so sad.
It is sad. Her name's Miss Etta. I did several videos about her.
I was going to ask if you go
Etta
in
Daltrell.
and, like, people that touch your heart, if you go visit them.
She's one of them. Yeah. She's one of the inspirations. Her daughters actually wrote me a letter, and we shared it on our Facebook page, and she's one of them. So another person her name's Donna Bell. She's a quadriplegic. She was in a car accident in 1979. She's been a quadriplegic since 1979 here in Denham Springs. She flooded. her elderly mother put her in a bed sheet and dragged her upstairs to keep her from drowning in her own bed. We dispatched Cajun Navy guys to go rescue her, and they told me about her story. When they put her in the boat, her arm hit the boat and it broke her arm. Yeah, that was 6 years ago, and she's still
do you visit or keep in touch?
I haven't visited her, but I did. When in the aftermath, I went and met her, and this has been a life-changing experience to meet this person, bound to a wheelchair since 1980, essentially.
Yeah.
She can only move her head. It's really life-changing, but it's her attitude. She's just grateful to be alive even now. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So to meet those people.
Feels so helpless too. There's nothing she can do.
There's nothing she can do. She's
totally dependent.
Even today,
yes.
To type, she has to use a pencil in her mouth. That's how she.
Oh, I think I read that in your book. Does she paint?
Yeah, she painted. Okay. Yeah, I had her do
water strong. Well.
She did a drawing of the fleur-de-lis with wings. And so we sold it for her to raise money. We raised like $5,000 for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So. When I read your book, the first paragraph, the whole time I'm thinking it should be a movie.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about that?
I don't have time.
Well, if anyone's out there, read the book, contact him. It would make an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so too.
I think it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's,
you need to read it.
I will.
It's really good. Yeah. And I'm only on the second chapter. So, everyone, this is the book, Cajun Navy. Y'all need to get that. Where is it available? I got mine off of Amazon.
Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anywhere else is it?
Amazon. There are bookstores in South Louisiana that have it as well. It's Pelican Publishing from New Orleans, so it's a Louisiana publisher. And we just put out 2 great videos. I uploaded one yesterday, and then one 2 days ago.
It's on your website.
They're on YouTube. They're on our YouTube channel. Okay. And when you find us, look for our logo. That's our logo.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Who designed that?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do graphic design. When you're on the internet as a programmer, started off just building websites in 1995. And I just got really good at that. And then I'm like, well, I should become a programmer too, because programming and website development are very different. So I taught myself to build websites as a software engineer and got employed in that. And I've been doing that. And before that, I worked for Ryan Steakhouse for 7 years before I even started as an engineer. So, yeah.
I think I saw in one of your interviews that you chose not to do the college path and to do just what do we call it?
The School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my butt kicked.
Yeah.
It was so much better than college. College is good, but I remember the moment I was a waiter at Ryan's in Lafayette.
Okay.
And I remember standing, in front of the little service window where they put the food out for you to take to the tables. And we were having our meeting before the chef and the area supervisor came up and said, hey, we're opening a new restaurant in Alexandria. We're looking for trainers to go to Alexandria and help to train the staff there. And I kind of looked around, nobody raised their hand. I said, I'll go. And that was like the moment that changed my life. I left the next morning and never went back to Lafayette.
Wow.
I ended up working for Ryan's for 7 years. Became a corporate trainer, went to management for them. I became general manager of the Ryan's on Perkins Road here at age 24. Worked my way up from 4th to 3rd to 2nd and then to 1. Had been a corporate trainer, which meant I knew all the vice presidents of the company. This was a 300-store company, a big company at the time. And I thought it was a big deal. It was 21. And the managers there didn't care. They really kicked my butt. They gave it to me. And I learned to keep my mouth shut and just work hard. And so that was a great experience.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love the restaurant industry. And I always say before I was a programmer, I was a people person. Programmers, I got into software and you sit behind a laptop all day long. But I think I developed some people skills.
Were you always a people person, or when when you got into the restaurant business? Was it, that's where,
helped.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't always.
No.
The other managers kind of forced him into it.
Yeah.
They did. Well, I found that I liked serving people. I mean, it was hard. It was shy the first few times, but the money you make depends on, how well you deliver value to the person and hospitality, how much they remember you. I had like a $50 tip at Ryan's once. That was pretty cool. But no, I was not the outgoing kid. I was the kid kind of like, but I moved around a lot, and I moved to Lafayette when I was 13, and went to Lafayette High in 8th grade. So the 8th grade was at Lafayette High at the time because they were remodeling it at the middle school. And then there was this girl there, blonde, and here I am, 13, and this blonde, beautiful blonde's walking around. She has this hair that flips up, and I'm like, she's not gonna talk to me. So I actually met her just over 3 years ago, and now we're married.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
So
She
the
was
same
the same girl.
From high
you
school.
ran into 3 years ago.
Yeah, was the girl that I kind of like.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Wait, we need
Here's
back
how it
up.
happened.
We need to know
Here's
this.
how it happened. Right?
Serendipity?
It's the law of attraction.
That's right.
We were at the Grouse Room in Lafayette, a nice music venue, if you don't know, and I'm friends with the owner. And I was there with some friends, and I was talking. I was single. I mean, I divorced.
Yeah.
And, I was talking to some girls, and my friend walked up and said, "Hey, there's this girl over there that wants to talk to you." And I said, "I'll talk to her in a minute." And he said, "Okay." He went and told her, and she said, "Hey," she said, "tell him that he can talk to girls, or he can come talk to a woman standing there."
You were sold.
I said, "Okay, I need to go talk to this girl." So that's how it happened.
Wow. Did she remember you from?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
I remembered her instantly, though.
Oh, you did?
I did. Not her face or anything, but I said, "Hi, I'm Rob Gaudet." She said, "My name is Camille Domingue." And when she said that, I said, "I know you." I said, "We went to high school together."
Wow. Y'all were in the same
The
class?
same classes, same grade.
Wow.
Yeah, graduated in 87.
So did y'all look each other up in the yearbook?
Yeah, we've seen the
Yeah.
yearbooks. So bad, so bad.
See?
Did she
don't even
remember once you looked it up in the
She
yearbook?
pretends like she does. I don't think she did.
So from the beginning, the very first time you started until now, I'm sure there were trial and error type
Yes.
things. What did you start doing that needed to change to where you are right now?
For the first 6 years, I kept my job. I did this and my job, and when I was having to go into an office, it was incredibly difficult. And so I would try to manage the work from here. Like I would find people in the community and organize them, but never really go myself. And that had to change.
Okay.
The only way to really have a huge impact is to go yourself. And so I started that in 2020 for Herc and Laura, so 3 years ago.
Okay. And that's made a big difference
Oh,
for
it
you?
absolutely has. And I've known that's really the only way to do it. You can't, it's like any business. The person that cares about it the most is going to be the person who started it, and the person that's to drive everything. So now we have a huge team. We were at a conference earlier this year, and I'm always looking for housing solutions. We bought trailers for people and different things. But trailers are expensive, and then you have to be hauled in, and then they don't want to leave because they're comfortable. It's as important that there's temporary housing, much better than a tent, but not comfortable enough they want to live in it forever. And so there are these fiberglass domes that can be assembled in 2 hours, literally bolted together into a dome shape, and it's extremely strong. It can withstand hurricane force winds.
Really?
Completely weatherproof, and you put a base on it, and people can actually live in these. There's doors and there's windows in
air
them.
conditioning.
You can put air in them. You can do whatever. You can modify them and connect them together and do like a whole. You can do a whole endless city if you had enough of them. We're innovating in what we're doing.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is. So
when is
you've
that
already started
available?
taking those to cities that are catastrophic?
We are getting our first one sometime this summer.
Okay.
They're working on it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it your I don't know, branding, I guess?
They're actually taking, and each panel is one of these colors.
Okay.
And so it's really kind of cool.
Like,
Yeah.
we're not funded by some big organization that tells us how to spend the money that we bring in. We actually raise money from just average citizens who get behind us whenever a disaster happens, and then they can see that we're on the ground using it because we go live. If you go to our Facebook page, we have over 800 live videos showing what we do. We go live every single day. And so that media awareness drives people to donate and come and volunteer. And we just are innovating and finding unique ways to address disasters. Nobody's ever done them this way.
That's awesome.
It is. It is. It absolutely
It's
is.
pretty
It is.
So, what do you want to tell people that want to volunteer or donate, or what do you need?
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
Yeah, I would say if you want to volunteer or donate, just know that natural disasters are happening more frequently and they're more intense. It's really hard to deny that. And in that change, I think the American mindset needs to change and start thinking about ways that we can start spending more time as a society helping with these disasters. Consider volunteering for Cajun Navy Ground Force, and our website is gocajunnavy.org. You can get everything you need there. If you want to donate, you can find the donate button there. If you want to volunteer, you can volunteer from there. And certainly go read about our 5 swift intervention programs, and you can find a place for yourself in those programs. Not everybody has to deploy. We have a lot of people that work from home when we're deployed, that provide support, that vet volunteers, that find supplies, that do our social media. So we're really a growing organization with lots of opportunities for volunteers that want to help.
Awesome. And don't forget to go and get his book. Would you rather?
Okay.
Would you rather swim in a pool full of Nutella? You said you like sweet.
Okay.
Or a pool full of maple syrup?
Maple syrup.
Why?
I don't
Because
like
you
Nutella.
can swim.
I love maple syrup.
Nutella, you can't swim.
You can't
I like the
swim.
Canadians,
Okay. Would you rather have more time or more money?
Time.
Yeah, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
more time.
Would you rather become someone else or just stay you?
I absolutely stay myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I found a calling, and honestly, this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
It's bigger than
You
me.
feel it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's why I'm called a hero. I'm like, what we're doing is so much bigger than me.
Yeah.
So I'm just the guy kind of pulling a few levers and finding the things. And I was the first to really see it. Others are going to do what we're doing because it's incredibly effective. So
Would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life?
I mean, I'm still a kid.
I was going to say, yeah,
Yeah.
I would, absolutely,
You'd rather be a kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not me.
No.
I'm a kid at
I'm
heart.
still a
though,
kid at
but
heart. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
I like to have fun, but I don't think I want to be a
stop
child.
growing, honestly.
I think
if we're honest
we
about
have to do what we have to do.
15 or 16. We're just like, okay, this is what I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's fun to think about. I don't think I would want to be a child, but I do like to have fun, But is that really a child? I don't know.
Yeah.
What you think? You said child. Huh?
Child. Definitely.
But you would have someone else taking care of you. You wouldn't have to worry about jobs and all that.
That's what I liked
stuff.
about
Isn't that the glory of it?
Yeah, you can just ride your bike.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe I'm choosing child.
No responsibility.
Yeah,
When
I
I was-
wasn't thinking of that part.
I had these moments in my life. So my moment that I was forced to grow up, one of my first jobs was working offshore. Before I worked for Ryan's, and I was making really good money, and I was living at home. I came home and showed my dad. I'd cashed my check. He was like, "Son, I'm really proud of you. That's so good." He said, "I'm busy right now. Let's talk later." I said, "Okay." So that night, we sat down and talked, and he said, "You're doing so well. I'm so proud of you."
Aww.
He said, "This is how much rent is going to be." I know. I was like,
Wow.
wait, what? I was hurt for like 10 seconds. I'm like, okay, I can get an apartment. That's what he would, yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah. So that was the
Okay.
moment I grew up.
That was,
really.
yes, that
It
was last, yeah. Well, I thought you were saying rent at the house.
He wanted me to stay home and
He
pay rent.
wanted
If I was
you
going
to
to
pay
stay,
rent.
I had my own bedroom, and it had
Yeah.
a door to the outside, and I had 3 younger brothers
much
and
was
a younger
rent?
sister. It was going to be like
remember
$210, and that's how much an apartment
Okay.
was in
Really?
1987. Yeah.
Back then, that was...
So if we got to pay them, pay for my freedom.
Yeah.
Did you stay home or did you go get
I
an
moved out
apartment?
that
You
day.
moved out.
That day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We told that to our kids, but we never ever enforced it.
He would have enforced it.
He would have.
But are you happy that he did
Yeah.
do that? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah. Just like when I left Lafayette, I never looked back, and I never looked back. I never
Yeah.
looked back. I never asked him for a thing after that. I was 17, 18, I think.
It kind of pushed you to grow up.
Yep,
Yeah.
it did. I was making money, and when I left the offshore job, I had to have something else lined up to keep paying my rent.
Yeah.
So I went to work for Ryan's, and yeah.
Yeah, it was probably the best thing that could
Yeah.
have happened. Let's see. Would you rather hear the good news or the bad news first?
Bad news.
And then push it with the good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bury it with the good.
Yeah. Would you rather spend the day at an amusement park or a lazy day at the beach?
Oh man, which amusement park?
Oh, that's true. It does matter.
We just got back from Universal.
How was it?
It was great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not a Harry Potter guy, but we went to Volcano Bay for one day. That was fun.
Harry Potter's usually so crowded,
It was a
you
lot of people.
cannot get through it.
Yeah, we got there early enough that it wasn't terrible. We rode the rides, and it was neat. I'd never
What was the longest line?
The Haggard's bike. Haggard's,
Oh, okay.
It has a motorcycle ride.
I like that. How long was
It's
the line?
kind of new. It's pretty lit.
How long you had to wait?
That was maybe 45 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes.
They didn't have the pass you could
They
buy.
did.
They did.
Fast Pass. That was the only ride you couldn't use it on.
Oh,
yeah.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah,
Though. Yeah,
that's crazy.
it was a popular ride.
So what are we saying? Amusement? Okay, Universal or have you?
I think I prefer the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it does depend on the
It does.
place. Would you rather spend a week in the forest or a night in a haunted house?
The week of the worst. Yeah, I can't do haunted stuff.
You're not for the haunted stuff?
No.
You get 3 wishes.
I wish I could ride my bike like I did when I was a kid. And actually, I still can't ride my bike. I play soccer, so if I can play soccer, I can ride a bike. Wow. I don't wish for much because I don't.
You don't have to?
It's not that I don't have to. It's because I have everything that I want and need in life, and if I don't, I just make it happen, and it materializes for me. I wish the American public would step up with us more. They already do, but we can be even bigger. And I wish the best for my team. I have a great team of people that have adopted this idea of what we do and work on it, incredibly hard every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
How many people are in your team?
We have about 15 core team members. All but 2 are volunteers. And every day, we meet every single morning. Really good, and that's why
Everything was delicious.
Yeah, Portobello's is such a great place to
Yeah.
be.
And cheers to new friends.
Cheers.
Yes,
New
absolutely.
friends.
Egypt, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
It's good.
You like the pineapple?
It's good.
Yeah.
Friends and mimosas, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, comment and share just to show that you care. Friends and mimosas, friends and mimosas.